Right, the Premier League is back and Chelsea started off our campaign with somewhat of a disappointing result against Crystal Palace, a 0-0 draw yesterday at Stamford Bridge. But I do think that there are positives to take from this performance, and I do think that this performance taught us a lot about what we need to be doing going forward. And there is no one better to break all of it down with than my good friend, channel fan favourite, Mr. Josh Aveste, who told me the other day something that I had absolutely no idea about. Do you know what it was?
No idea. Tell me.
To do with my YouTube.
That I am the biggest watcher of the content.
Are you?
I watch every single video 3 times.
No,
and if
you
you
don't.
don't,
No, you
and if
don't.
and if you don't watch it 3 times, then you're not really part of the hardcore.
No, not really. Not
No.
really.
Go
no,
on.
you told me that of it 120,000 subscribers.
Can you believe that? 120,000 of you watch the Joey Knight podcast. Best guest?
I would say Joey Knight, but closely followed by Josh Aveste.
I think I'm the best guest now. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry
you
to
are.
say it.
mean,
So
you
yeah,
can't be
that's
only
huge.
guest.
That's huge. 120,000 people is a massive milestone. He hasn't even got his plaque for the first 100,000, have you?
I've heard you've got to...
You've got to order it.
Order it.
Which
yeah.
I did tell you when you got 100,000.
No, when I say I heard you've got to order it, I meant I heard you've got to order it.
So just so you know, I can't because you have to log in for your YouTube. So I wouldn't be able to do it
You
anyway.
don't know my password for everything. Right, okay, let's speak about it. I want to start off, before we actually get into the game itself, right, I want to start off by talking a little bit about the atmosphere around the game, how it felt going into Stamford Bridge, because you can really gauge how fans feel about a season by that opening day. I've been lucky enough to be at loads of opening day games. You've done pretty much every Stamford Bridge opening day game.
At least 13. At least 13.
There you
Because
go.
26 total, and then half of those will be away, won't they? So yeah, at least 13.
Well, you say half of those will be away. You don't know. You don't. It doesn't generally work like that. Like over a 10-year period, you get a 50-50 split.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Some teams play away
More often than not.
more often
Yeah,
than
yeah,
not,
yeah. Fair.
But what I do want to ask you is, what did you feel that the atmosphere was like going into Stamford Bridge? Because it's very, very hard when you're watching it through the TV. And you've sunk 12 pints the night before that, Jake. It's very hard when you're watching it through the TV.
It was 11.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, things quietened down a little bit, but right at the start of the game, I thought the atmosphere was really good. How was it up at the bridge?
It was really weird because they'd asked everyone to get there super early because of this new ticketing system, which by all accounts actually worked. I heard it was actually all right. So they get in and we thought we were going to have... Oh, really? It didn't go well. Have you heard it didn't go well? I heard people were in the stadium quite early.
Anything that Chelsea do is just great.
Yeah. Oh, really? Well, he is on the payroll.
I think there was some statements released by the club.
Seriously?
15 minutes or so into the game or
Well,
before the game.
considering how much of a seismic change, I think that was actually not too bad, really.
I just got in with a QR code when I went.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes. I've heard if you take a picture of the QR code, you're all right. But don't say that I told you
I've
to do that.
heard that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So, what was weird, right, is we had this announcement that was meant to happen at 1:30. Everyone gets into the stadium really excited to see Xavi Simons go out on the pitch and be
Is that what you was
presented.
thinking?
Well, a lot of people did. A lot of people thought it was going to be a signing, to be fair. And then the second thing I was expecting is that beautiful black Total 90 kit to be released as well, and it wasn't that. It was it was a banner. It was
2 banners.
it was a great. It wasn't even revealed very well. It took about 10 minutes to reveal it.
Do you know the window above the banner? You know the window. You know what window I'm on about.
I mean, it's a window in a hotel, yeah.
It's a window in a hotel, but anyone that goes to Stamford Bridge knows exactly what window you're on about. If you only ever watch Chelsea on the football on the TV, you don't know what we're on about. But if you've been to the ground, you know what window we're on about, right? The window below. Because I've always been sat in the Matthew Harding, and I look at that window, and I think, that's the luckiest room in the world to have that overview. Do you know what I mean?
Is there people in there? Do you see people in there?
Well, this is what I was about to reveal. It used to be a room, but they've changed it to like a janitor's closet or something.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that? You should sell it as an
Sell it,
experience.
Sky high.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically you can't actually see. You can only see about from that room. You would imagine you can only see between like 40 to 60% of the pitch.
Still, It's an experience, isn't it? People pay loads of money for those.
You can see us when we're attacking the Mafia end.
Which is the end that you always want to attack at.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but
that was a weird start.
Let's get into the game itself. Obviously, obviously they don't call you the Joracle, do they? They call you the non-Joracle because you told me that Eze wouldn't start. Eze started. I'm sure at one point you even told me that Joshua Changpong and Reece James can't play on the same pitch together.
I mean, I don't want to say it, and maybe I'm going to be laughed at here, but arguably they can't. Arguably they can't.
We're going to get onto that because that's a bit of a debate amongst the Chelsea
I think that's
community.
a huge debate right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to talking to you about that, actually.
Yeah. We will get onto that. I just want to quickly summarise the match. I didn't think we played very well. I thought we looked tired. I thought we looked a little bit flat. I think that there'll be changes systematically that I would like to see going forward that we're going to get into. But I thought it was anticlimactic past the first 10 minutes, if I'm being completely honest with you. First 10 minutes, I thought, oh yeah, we look sharp here. We look like we're ready to come out and put someone to the sword. But after that, the game mellowed. Chance-wise, I would say that, Chelsea had the better chances of the game. But something that, by the way, watch the kickoff video when it's out because you'll hear other fans' perspectives on that game itself, and we spoke about the game in today's video, which should be out later. But what we didn't speak about in the kickoff video today was the major talking point of the game, because I say Chelsea had the better chances. Should it have been a goal or should it have been disallowed?
If something is ruled out in favour of Chelsea, I'm one of the opinion that is always correct. Don't you?
In favour of Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah. Do you not feel that way?
I feel that way strongly. Yeah.
What did you think?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. In the moment, nothing. On the replay, this is where I'm going to sound crazy. In the moment, I thought nothing. On the replay, I thought, shouldn't be given the goal. And then when I found out why they hadn't given it, I then got confused again. Because my chain of thought, why shouldn't the goal have been given?
Go on, tell me.
Because fucking Mark Gahey bundles into Caicedo, not only knocking him over, but coming directly into the line of vision of Robert Sanchez.
So what was the referee's explanation then? Because you can't really hear it that well for me where I am.
Oh, okay. Well, on the TV, you could hear it very well. The referee's explanation was that Mark Gahey had ran to within a metre of the wall, and that is page 1569 of the Premier League's rulebook. What has riled up the internet is because there's so many people saying, what about this free kick? 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 A lot of them some of them even being Chelsea free kicks. One of them being, say, for example, Cole Palmer's goal against Brighton, the free kick that he scored, right? But at the same time as all of that being said, the way I look at it is, if that's the rule, we're on match day 1. And I know people are going to say this is a cop-out, but if by match day 8, they're not giving these and there's no consistency, then fair enough. Palace fans, you'll feel aggrieved. And look, I'm a biased Chelsea fan, but I'm also not biased. Like, they have their right to feel aggrieved. Like, if the goal hadn't have been chalked off, I wouldn't have been shouting from the rooftops about it. But at the same time, if you're going to show consistency, and by the letter of the law, I think you have 2 grounds in which you can disallow that goal. In terms of a foul and in terms of the rule of how
itself.
Close a player can be. If you show consistency throughout the rest of the season, then there's no problem. The problem is the screenshots and images and different videos that have circulated where this infringement has happened so many times would show that there hasn't been consistency. But it is a new season, so...
And that's the thing, I don't know if this specific rule has changed for this season, but they have made some changes this year to the rule structure. And that will mean that sometimes the decisions are different to what we expect. Apparently, holding in the area is now very different. They're going to look on it very differently. They don't want as much pushing and pulling in the area, so Arsenal probably won't score as many goals.
Mate, I'll tell you what, that there, for me, regardless of Arsenal, against any team, that there for me was one of the biggest problems in the Premier League last season. Yeah. And actually, in the first sort of 10 minutes of the game, when we won a corner, no one appealed for it because we ended up winning another corner, and I think we felt like momentum was going quite well. I feel like we should have had a penalty.
Yeah.
I don't know what Palace player it was, but he had Mark Cucurella in a hug. Do you remember that?
There was a lot of that going on, and this is the thing. If the referees are told that can't happen, I think there have been several instances, not just in our game but in other games, where people have pushed other players or they've pushed goalkeepers, and I don't see that is inconsistency. I don't get it.
Would you say that it's biased to say that it happens to Chelsea more than we do it to other teams?
In terms of the set plays,
in terms of what I'm envisioning in my head is a ball being swung in from a corner, and I can see a minimum of 2 Chelsea players with hands all over them.
Yeah.
It looks like heavy petting in a nightclub.
Or Cucurella getting his hair pulled, which
Exactly.
could be an incident in a nightclub as well.
There you go.
You know,
could be a life-threatening injury. Really.
Yeah, it could do.
Because if you pulled a chunk out and you had to shave it, what's the point in carrying on?
Honestly, Mark Cucurella would be about half the player if he didn't have that hair.
Exactly. It'd be about half the weight if he didn't have that hair.
Did you see there was very soon after the incident you were just talking about, there was one where Cucurella went in for a header. I thought he was dead. There was an incident where he got battered.
Yeah.
The geezer got a yellow card.
So that was a little bit of debate over that incident.
Yeah.
Yellow, fair?
I think that's one of those ones that's a bit of an orange. I think that was a tough one, to be fair.
Do you know what I thought?
Go on.
I thought it was fair.
Fair that it was a yellow.
And this is really hard to say, right? Remember, I do come from a boxing background, so I'm not easily like shaken up by things.
I mean, Cucurella was shaken up by it. I can tell you that. The way his head moved, it was fucking
100%.
awful. I was right in front of it. It looked like a really bad one.
It was a bad one. Was a bad one. I'm gonna argue a point that I've argued in Chelsea's favour, so I think it's only fair
To argue
that I
it in
argued
Palace's.
this, and I argued this somewhere along the line. Remember when we were talking about the Nicholas Jackson red card against against Newcastle, completely different situation. But I said that where was it Shaw or Byrne who he fouled?
I think it was
It
Shaw.
was Shaw. Regardless of whether it was Shaw or Burn, I said that where his head was at the time was in an unnaturally low position.
Yeah.
So actually, how much of a high foot is it? How much dangerous play is it? Sort of. Well, I say high foot. It was an elbow in that circumstance. But from yesterday's, I did feel like Cucurella's head was. What's Cucurella? 5'8"?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's not tall, is he?
I think he was probably his head was probably about 4.5 feet off of the ground. It was quite low. So for that reason, I've seen him given. I've seen him not given. If it was given for us, I'm for it. If it's given against us, I'm against it. But in all fairness, I feel at the end of it, yellow card. Yeah, fair enough. Because you know what I wouldn't have liked? Do you know what I wouldn't have liked? If we went and drew that game, won that game, I mean, God, the banter we'd get if we lost that game. But if the goal then gets disallowed and you go, meh, you know, yeah, I can see reason why that's been disallowed, but bloody hell, 20 years ago, it would never be disallowed.
I mean, it is the rules, but yeah.
It is the rules. It is the rules, but it's fair enough. If then that had have had a red card too, I feel like it just would have soured our win. Would I have took a soured win and 3 points? Yes, 100%. But at the same time, it was what it was. After that, we didn't really see anything huge from Chelsea until, I would say, around the hour mark, maybe the 55-minute mark, a certain Estevao William gets brought on, right? And I'm not going to wax lyrical about him now and say his performance was absolutely unreal. But I think it was impressive when you factor in that this is an 18-year-old kid, right? And even when he made mistakes on the ball, it still looked glued to his feet.
It did. It was insane. I've never seen a player come on to the pitch at Chelsea and have the ball and the close touch as good as that. And I've watched Eden Hazard at the Bridge. Like, the way that he was dancing around players. And the thing that I couldn't believe is, talk about how small Cucurella is. Estevao is a slight man. He's small and he's not very well built.
He's tiny.
And this is the thing that I couldn't believe. He's going up against Mark Gay, he's going up against Munoz, he's going up against a few other players, right? I couldn't believe how well he held them off. It was like he had superhuman strength for his size. And the way that he had 2 men come over to him straight away, mark him, and he was beating both of them. I think we've got to talk about it. I think there's a thing now where we have to say he should be starting the next game.
Well, that's going to lead me on to my next point and how I feel that we can improve going forward. Because I think Estevao was a massive factor. And I think if he had more minutes on the pitch in that game, you know, I don't actually think, I don't want to call it blazes it over the bar, because actually although where it might have ended up in Rose Ed, at the time of passing the goal, it wasn't that far off, right?
No.
But he takes it down almost, I was about to say on the chest, takes it on the stomach, really, lowers himself down for it, takes it on the left foot. It does end up going over the bar, right? I feel like if he had been on the pitch for longer, he scores that, because I think he has a bit more of a touch of the game, feel of the game, a little bit more composure. We had another opportunity. We had a Liam Delap shot. We had an Andre Santos chance.
The Santos one was the biggest one, wasn't it? He had a lot of time on the ball there, and I think he'll really regret that.
So before we're going to get on to Estevao, do you feel like that could be a sliding doors moment? Because I'm right now having a little look at the transfer news, and there is a few different media outlets, how credible they are or not, I'm not too sure just yet. A few different media outlets reporting that West Ham could be in for a move for Andre Santos. What would you think? Would you be in favour of an Andre Santos going out on another loan?
Is that what they're saying? A loan?
Different variations.
Well, he wouldn't be sold to West Ham. I mean, if he could go to any club in the world,
exactly.
So he wouldn't be going to West Ham on a permanent move. To be honest with you, I mean, the fun answer is to say yeah, potentially. But to be honest with you, no, I can't see it. We've just gone through an entire summer where we've been fielding questions about him staying or leaving. He finally puts in a few good performances and looks really good. Let's not forget about this. I looked this up the other day and I could not believe it. What transfer window did Romeo Lavia join Chelsea in? Can you remember? What year was it?
Yeah. Same window we signed Caicedo at the start of the Pochettino season. 23-24.
How many games has Romeo Lavia played for Chelsea in that time?
23-24.
The answer is well done. Because the answer is 23.
Is it 23?
It's 23.
Yeah,
right. So if we're even considering, bearing in mind we just got rid of Dewsbury Hall, getting rid of Santos.
Mad.
Can I just say, it's just not going to happen.
No. And the other thing is this, stylistically, right? Santos, and credit where credit's due. I'm about to give you even more credit in a minute. That's why I started off the episode by digging you out a little bit, because I'm about to give you loads of credit. Credit where credit's due.
Maybe I'm going to take the Joracle crown after this.
You have to do a few more years in that game, mate. Things right. Bullshitting your way there.
I want someone to create us a website where they rank all of our predictions. So they actually, when we do all these bets, if you could actually get a website where you did it, because you're very good at remembering all your winners. I don't think you're very good at remembering all your losses. Which is much like your betting career.
Much like my fighting career as well. You don't hear me speak about that one I lost.
But yeah, go on, compliment me.
Right, I'm going to compliment you. I said from what I had seen of Andre Santos, and I'm kind of talking about that pre-season, which we speak of quite highly, when we were under the illusion that Andre Santos and Ian Matson were going to be first teamers for us, but he ripped it up in that pre-season. He looked very good, right? I was under the impression that he would be more in line with a Caicedo than he would an Enzo. Now I feel that we've got three profiles in that midfield: Caicedo, Enzo, Lavia. I actually think they all do different jobs.
So
right?
true.
And now, you told me, when I was saying, maybe more in line with a Caicedo or a Lavia, you went, no. Andre Santos is an Enzo understudy.
Which is true.
I went, I don't think you're right. That's not really how I'm seeing. You were right. You were right. He's an Enzo understudy.
Yeah.
And can you tell me another Enzo understudy we've got now that Dewsbury Hall's gone?
No.
No, you can't. So he's not going to go anywhere. It
would be mad if he did.
Caicedo's understudy?
He's Dario
Sugu. And then you've got Romeo Lavia, who, as much as we love him, right, he's a unreal player, Romeo Lavia, and I've got such high hopes for him, and I'm not going to write off any chances of him going on to be a fucking club legend just because of the fact that he hasn't been available and he has had these injury setbacks, which can happen as a young footballer, and you can get over them. It's happened in many, many cases. But here's the thing, right? If I detach what I want and I put a realistic outlook on things, if I'm any part of the recruitment team at Chelsea right now, I'm not planning with Santos or Fofana all that much. What I'm hoping for...
Do you mean Lavia and Fofana? Because you said Santos.
Lavia, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Lavia and Fofana, all that much. What I'm hoping for is that Lavia and Fofana are available for the majority of the season, and they do feature and they are able to contribute. But I'm not planning for that.
Do you want my hot take?
Go on.
I think that the Romeo Lavia transfer will be regarded as one of the worst transfers that we'll have made in the Bowley era or the Clear Lake era.
I think that is a boiling hot take.
Can I explain why?
Very offensive.
Can I explain why? He's played 23 times in 2 seasons. He's already injured for the start of this season. There is no guarantee that he'll be fit for any period of time. Unlike a Reece James, who's obviously proven his own fitness, I think Romeo Lavia is nowhere near that. I think he's got so many other players now that are outperforming him and are probably the next players to be in the team. Like, Asugu looks amazing when he came on the pitch. Different role, but you would trust his fitness and you would trust his ability. And so I personally look at it now and I think you're totally right. He's the third factor, third profile that we have in the midfield. And quite frankly, in the system now, how well does he fit into the system? Like, how well does he actually profile? They've bought Asugu and Santos to deputise for those 2 boys. If you want something slightly different, maybe you play a different system rather than a different player. I think Romeo Lavia, I think this time next year, I don't necessarily think it's a guarantee that he'll be with us. I don't mean that. I don't mean that whether he's alive or dead. I mean in terms of transfers.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. Romeo Lavia was bought in for what?
63 million euros.
Was it 63?
I looked it up this morning because I looked at the numbers.
Right. So what's that in quid?
55.
55. Sorry, that's what I didn't think the disparity between euros and pounds was that much.
It's not too much.
Maybe I just get seen coming and get ripped off anytime I change up my money. But anyway, what I was going to say, I thought
it surprise me?
It was about £55 million. Yeah. So
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot. It's about 10 mil less than Mudryk, right? So you're going on about one of the biggest flops of whatever. It's about 10 mil less than Mudryk, right? Be honest with me.
Mudryk's played more times.
It's fine. It's not a loaded question. Not a loaded question.
What's going to be remembered as the worst deal?
Just be honest with me. No. Just be honest with me. Who, not do you see, do you want, whatever. I'm saying as in like the chances. Who has more of a chance of contributing to Chelsea Football Club from this point onwards in their career out of Mykhailo Mudryk and Andre Santos?
Romeo Lavia.
I keep saying Andre Santos. I mean Romeo Lavia. You lot know. Sorry, you know.
So the obvious answer.
Here comes a politician.
No, the obvious answer is Lavia.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you're doing this. You're taking his fitness for granted. I think there's a situation that Romeo Lavia plays as many games as Mykhailo Mudryk this season. Because if you're going on the record right now, how many games did he play in the Club World Cup? Not that many.
1.5 or something.
Not that many. Yeah. So, and how many games did he play at the end of last season? So, I think it's a huge if. I think it's a huge... There's no guarantee that he's going to play. He's played 23 times in 2 years.
But you know what the problem is, Josh? When he's played, he's looked fucking amazing.
I agree, but this is the ultimate fallacy. You've seen this so many times. I don't care how good players are when they're fit. They need to be fit. Like if Caicedo played 23 games in 2 years, you'd go, he was a great player, true, but he's never on the pitch. You never get to see that quality. It's the same thing.
Okay, that's all well and good. But he's not on 300 grand a week. He's not on 300 grand a week. He's a young player. Do you know what he's on per week?
I think it's less than 100. Is it much less than 100?
Yeah, it's a lot less than 100.
How much is it?
I'm sure he's on 60 grand a week. I
think you'd be surprised because he was at City.
I think he's on 60k. He was at City. He was at fucking Southampton. I think he's on 60k a week. What's he on? Tell me.
He's got 5 years remaining on his contract.
I just want to know what he's on.
Which worries me. He's on 45. So there you go. You're right.
There you go.
He's not on a lot of money.
Let's stick with him. I'm not saying I love him.
By the way, this isn't me saying he's not a good player. I think he's an amazing player, and I think he does fit into the system. But I just think this fitness problem, I think he's probably the worst out of all of them, and that's including Wesley Fofana.
God, he's a bit damning, to be honest. Okay, that's fine. That's your take on it. I think that Romeo Lavia is going to get over those problems.
I hope he does.
Do I think or do I hope? I probably more hope, but hope affects the way that I think a lot of the time. Now, we should get on to something else, because there's something else I hope for. And this is something that I think is really, really important now. Who is our next game?
West Ham away on Friday night.
Right, okay. So we've got It's come. I was about to say we've got a little bit of a rest now.
No, we don't.
So she comes around quite quickly. West Ham away on Friday night. I'm trying to.
The return of Graham Potter.
I'm trying to stay off the drink. I could do a go into that.
I thought you would be there, to be honest.
That could be a fun game.
I thought you were going to be going for it.
I might go to that. Anyway, I don't think they've got this.
Do you have a hookup? Do you have a hookup for the tickets for that?
Yeah.
Name and shame.
One, I'm not allowed to name one. I'm not allowed to name one.
One's a private stash.
No, one's not allowed to go anymore. But Little Ricky in the shorts. Little Ricky in the shorts. If anyone knows Little Ricky. Legend.
Yeah.
Not saying any of these lot sort me out with any tickets, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
What Joey means is he's paid by the club. You know.
There you go. Speaking of men that are paid by the club, we have. I say men. We have a young lad called Estevao. We spoke about his impact on the game, significance. I know it's very early. Do we need to just let him off the leash and let him go? And here's what I will say. And again, you're about to get very happy because I'm about to pay you another compliment here, Josh. One thing that I didn't do is I did not sit and watch full 90s of Estevao last season. I'm sorry, okay? I run 3 YouTube accounts, 3 TikTok accounts, multiple things going on like other than that, and we do the kickoff and I've got to watch so much Premier League. So did I watch every goal and assist that Estevao made last season? Probably. I
in a YouTube compilation, you did.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I say probably, in a YouTube compilation I did. But that doesn't show you what a player actually does. And I said literally last time we were in the studio, was it? I said, I think, you might worry a little bit about having him in front of Reece James because he might have somewhat more of a free role. And you said, no, he's very well known for his tenacity in tracking back. And, he made a challenge yesterday that some people might have felt could have even been a red card offence, to be honest. But fuck me,
Can you get a red card? I don't know the rules. Can you get a red card in your own half?
You'd like to think if you can't be offside in your own half, then you shouldn't be able to get a red card for a last-ditch challenge.
If you can get sent off, that should have been a red.
I mean, the thing is stopping a clear
goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah,
it wasn't a clear goal scoring because he was running away from goal.
Well, you're not. Yeah, and also you've not got a clear sight on goal.
No.
Like, you can see the goal. You're fucking ages away from it.
Yeah, I
don't. And I'm not being funny.
I think the half makes a difference.
I know that it should be equal rights across the board in football, but the kid's fucking 7 stone.
Yeah,
he can send Mateta over or whoever it was. Who was it that was running up?
I don't think it was Mateta. I think it might have been. No, it wasn't Eze. Maybe it was Sarr.
Yeah,
maybe it was Sarr.
Okay.
Eze looked so good.
But the point I'm trying to make is for those of you who saw that Estevao challenge. That there, for me, told me, right, okay, this kid's raw. He needs to learn a little bit about the English game because you won't get away with that many of them.
Mate, I'm not going to lie. That's kind of exactly what I want from the English game. That was a tactical foul. That was smart.
Yeah.
That was actually, for an 18-year-old, that was very clever, what he did. I rate it. By the way, I've been told it's Estevao. So did you know the Premier League do this video where they get all of the players
to
do it?
Yeah.
I watched it. Apparently, Estevao.
Yeah. Okay.
So
well,
Estevao
for now, but Estevao if hit. But regardless, you called it a tactical foul. I thought, fair enough. It's good because they could have gone up the other end and scored. So the reason I brung it up was because I liked what I had seen. I just think it needs a little bit of fine tuning. But what I do want to do is give you the credit for the fact that it wasn't just that one challenge. There were multiple times I saw him getting back, saw him supporting Reece James in that role there. And realistically, I do genuinely think that Estevao needs to be starting the next game. Because for me, it's a question of... It's not a question for me of Estevao against Pedro Neto. That's not... I know that ideally they're both going to be started on the right wing, but that's not the question for me. For me, it's the question of Estevao against Jamie Gittins. And I do believe that although Jamie Gittins is a player I'm excited for, and he had flashes of brilliance and flashes of, okay, I can see why you were in and out of Borussia Dortmund last season yesterday. I think that Estevao already, sounds crazy to say at the age he's at, he's more advanced in his game, and I feel like he's going to be the one that's going to open up more options, more opportunities, because not that Jamie Gittins did anything wrong yesterday, but I don't look at Jamie Gittins...
Disagree. His finishing was awful. His final ball was awful.
I think when I say not that he did anything wrong, I don't mean from a tactical analysis in the game, but he's a young player. He's come over to the Premier League.
He's a young player.
He's come over to the Premier League. He's come into a very tough game in the first fixture, a team that have just beat Liverpool in the Community Shield. The match before that, competitive match before that, they won the FA Cup. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're on a high. They are a very good team. Starting 11, I'll get a lot of pushback. Brian disagreed with me massively on this earlier on, and I think that maybe rethink things a little bit when it comes to Newcastle. But I'll keep the same energy I had. Starting 11, Crystal Palace have got just as good a starting 11 as Aston Villa.
I think if you did a combined 11, Palace and Newcastle, I reckon a lot of Palace players would get into that 11. So I think you can question it, and obviously there's inherent bias to it with the company that we were keeping at that point. Yeah. But I think if you do player by player, like for me, obviously if Isak's not there, Mateta's going in as striker. Eze could get into that team. Sarr potentially could get into that team.
Would.
Yeah, Eze would get into that team.
Would walk into
Sarr get in on the left?
Not
maybe,
no.
Probably not. So maybe that's the only one.
Yeah.
And then the midfield. I mean, mate, even Will Hughes looked like a really good player yesterday.
I mean, you look at the backline. Gay, he would walk into Newcastle.
Well, they wanted him, didn't they? They wanted him.
Time, I think Henderson would go in over Pope. Maybe.
Definitely.
I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I think that to judge any of the players, but Jamie Gittins specifically on this one match is very, very harsh, because I think Crystal Palace are a massively underrated team.
I'm not judging him on that. The performances that Gittins has put in has shown, like you just said, how raw he actually is. And it's interesting for me that they've given him the number 11 shirt, bearing in mind that comes with all the pressure and the hype. And also what I found very interesting, and maybe this was just my reading of the game, was a confidence point that I'll make very quickly, is that Estevao comes on and he looks like he's ready to go, like he's playing with complete freedom, as if he'd been playing in the Premier League for a long time. Whereas I see Gittins and I see a little bit of nervousness, a little bit sometimes where he takes a little bit too long to make the decision, sometimes where he makes the wrong decision. Whereas I thought with Estevao, he wasn't really doing that.
And
so
why is that?
Because he's playing without any pressure.
Why has he not got the pressure on him?
Can't tell me.
Because he knows he's better at this moment in time. And I'm not on about individually against Jamie Gittins. I'm not saying that. I'm on about against who he's up against. Yeah. Regardless of our team, I'm on about who he's up against. He knows he's better.
Do you know what though? This Estevao thing is a big problem for us. And this is going to sound like it's a really weird point, but it's a problem. Because Pedro Neto has been by far our best right winger. He isn't as effective on the left-hand side. He just isn't.
I think you go a bit over the top with that. You're saying, he isn't as effective. I agree with you, but that's not the question. The question is,
can they play together?
Can they play together?
The answer is yes.
Do you want them on the pitch
together?
They? Is he more effective on the left-hand side, maybe, than a Jamie Gittins is, and maybe the better thing to do against West Ham, and obviously we'll be in the studio, we'll preview that game, but the better thing to do against the West Ham might just be to start off with Pedro Neto on that left-hand wing, give Estevao 60 minutes, Let him get a feel for the game from the beginning. Let him run their defenders absolutely ragged and then bring on Jamie Gittins when legs are tired. Because Estevao, he don't need legs to be tired, mate.
He doesn't.
He does
it at any point. Tired. He doesn't. So I'll make another bold prediction that someone will add to this website that they create for us. I think that by December time, the starting two wingers will be Estevao on the right and Garnacho on the left. In our biggest games, the hardest teams, those will be the ones that they trust. And that's, again, this is what I mean about it being a problem, because I love Pedro Neto. I thought Pedro Neto was our best player in the Club World Cup. And this is the thing, this is just how good Estevao is, So I do think the left wing, if we don't get Xavi Simons, we've got an issue.
I don't think we have got an issue. I look more, and I want to go back to giving some players some praise after this, but I don't think Enzo Maresca's made it any real secret that he would like a centre-back. if you said to me now, you can only sign one. If you can only sign a left winger, or you can sign a Mark Gahey, for example, I'd go, yeah, I love Mark Gahey. That's a left winger. If you offer me Xavi Simons, then I might have to think about it a little bit more. But if it was just because I really hope I'm proven wrong. Would love it by the time I drop this episode if I am proven wrong. I just don't think the Xavi Simons thing's happening. I know
you've got a bad feeling about that.
I've got a bad feeling about it. I don't think it's going to happen. So then it comes to this, and will it be Garnacho instead of Xavi Simons and then no defender, which is what Maresca has stated that he wants. I want to give the man I trust what he wants. And therefore, I would like us to go out and sign a centre-back if Enzo Maresca wants a centre-back. And if it's going to be Garnacho or a centre-back, I would pick to have a centre-back. I feel that we've got enough there. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I can see you're having a little look at the transfer news now.
I'm trying my best.
Anything going on?
Well, they're talking. There's a few things going on right now. Apparently, Lukaku's injured, which you'll be like, why the fuck are we talking about Lukaku? But apparently, that means that Napoli are now in for Jackson. So there's another suitor for Nicholas Jackson.
Nice.
Which is, I don't know if it is a good thing, Joe. I'd quite like Nicholas Jackson to be in this squad. I just don't think he will be. But
I wouldn't. I don't think he will be. So the reason I say is nice. The reason I say nice
that
is
we get the money.
But not so much that. Like, I'd probably take 20 mil less to sell him abroad.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not even joking.
We need the money, though. Well, we don't need the money, but it'd be nice to get the money.
I'd take 45 to 50 to sell him
Napoli.
To sell him abroad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
that's under his value.
They might not do it now.
Put it this way.
Man United aren't going to do it now. They've signed Šeško, they've got Cunha, they're fine. I don't want to rip a friend off. And I consider all Geordies my friends. But
they need someone, though.
If Newcastle want him, they're going to have to pay fucking 65 for him.
But they need someone.
And that with only... Not saying the only, but I would say, I mean...
who else are they going to get?
Matisa's quite a broad audience in terms of supporters, but I feel like we're the only ones that are like a Chelsea channel, yeah. But we have this random little Geordie contingent, they like us.
Well, if you just have a 20-second thing, who would you want the starting number 9 to be for Newcastle if it isn't Isak? Like, if you were a Geordie, yeah.
Out of the players available?
Yeah. Left now.
Let me not jump the gun and just say the obvious option. Let me actually think about it. Yeah, Jackson.
Because the only other option is that Samu guy that we wanted.
Samu Omaridion,
who's now changed his name, yeah.
What about the other guy that was banging in goals for fun? He got moved, didn't he? Stuttgart guy.
Who? Garassi.
Yeah,
he's at Dortmund. He's not going to go.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's not going to go.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Voltemade, that other German guy that we were in for. Voltemade.
Spell it?
WOL. No, he's apparently going to Bayern. He looks really good. We were in for this guy. This German kid, this under 21 guy. Yeah. He's 6'6", but like dances around like a king.
There's someone else I want to give a shout out to, and I want to ask your opinion on this. Someone that was in the ground. I don't know whether sometimes... No, I do know. It does. Sometimes my background knowledge on players, information on them, what I expect of them, will probably interfere a little bit with how I interpret they performed. And it could well do that. But as a young man coming in at centre-back for the first game of the season and... being that we transitionally, or especially when we were attacking, were a back three, and he was the central in that back three. I thought that Josh Champong did really, really well yesterday, but I have had mixed reviews online. So what do you think?
I love Josh Champong so much so, Joe, that I was very happy to sanction an exit for Malagusto. Right? And I think Malagusto is a decent player. But... very decent. No, I think just decent. And in fact, when he came on, I was very worried that we might have lost the game yesterday, mainly from a defensive perspective. But the reason why I bring him up in particular is not to denigrate the performance of Josh Champong, because again, I thought he was so good against a very, very difficult... People underestimate how good Mateta is. Mateta should be playing for a big club. And also, he's a fucking
regardless
unit.
of playing for a big club,
he's a great player.
There's two strikers in this league right now, yeah? Mateta and Chris Wood. Put them 20 years back. Put them 20 years back. They are throwback strikers. Mateta and Chris Wood are Premier League men. They're Barclays men, aren't they?
I think you're being harsh on Mateta. I reckon Mateta's got a lot more technique than the
Really?
era that you're talking about. But I know what you mean with Chris Woods. But also, he has got the physicality.
I more think back 20 years ago. They're the kind of boys
he'd be knocking it down to the little man.
Bagging like 16 goals in a season for Bolton.
Yeah.
I think that's impressive.
Fair enough. I look at Mateta and I think Man United fucked up getting Šeško and they could have got him and he would have been ready to go, to be honest with you, and probably the same amount of money. But my point is...
Same? Way less!
What, he would have cost less money
Mateta,
than Šeško?
yeah.
How much did Šeško go for in the end? 65, 70?
65 cent of that.
They could have got Mateta.
Mateta will have longer on the contract.
Nah,
probably,
Parish wouldn't have sanctioned a deal for less than that, to be honest with you. But my point here is, the Joshua Champong thing, I think, as he gets older and develops the physicality, he'll grow into his body and he'll be able to compete. Maybe even in a year's time or 2 years' time. But I think the pressure that he's going to be under is too much for a 19-year-old. Mate, there were moments where he was effectively a lone centre-back yesterday. And actually, this is another point in the way that Maresca plays. Trev was pushing up and he was trying to get tackles in the midfield. And Maresca tells his player to do this. In fact, do you remember in the pre-season last season, we saw Colwell basically attacking as a number 10 sometimes with the way he would go and follow his runner and push them back, right?
We missed those Colwell passes yesterday, by the way.
But this is I haven't even got onto the passes yet, right? I haven't even fucking done that. I'm just even talking about the defence. I think there were moments in the game where there was a left-hand side that was completely free. And again, that's because Cucurella was bombing on. But again, 1v1, that's where you see Josh getting exposed. And again, it's not that he isn't a really good player. I just think that he's more of a hybrid player that you want to be playing on the right-hand side when a Reece James is injured. Do you know what I mean? As part of a free. I don't think he's quite there physically. And I think he's a great player. I don't think he's quite there physically to be competing.
I think that you're wrong and right. I think you're wrong in terms of I don't think he's there physically to be competing. I think you're right in terms of positioning. I don't think he should be the central one in that back three. I think you have Trevor Chalobah doing that. If he's fit and available, Tosin Adarabioyo doing that. Obviously, dream scenario, maybe a Levi Colwell, someone like that. I think that Josh Chankong's more suited to the right-hand side.
To the Trevor role.
So yeah.
The Wesley Fofana role.
There you go. I think he's more suited to that right-hand side. I think that you said about Reece being injured. It doesn't rely on Reece being injured. I think we've seen quite carefully now that minutes have been managed. It wouldn't surprise me to see him on Friday night at Upton Park line up against West Ham on the right-hand side and Tosin Adarabioyo, if he is fit, to be able to come back in. So I think, I don't even want to say jury's out. I'm still very confident in Joshua Chankong.
Can I just say, I think that game told me that we do need to replace or find a solution for the left centre-back position. And this is why I think you're right in terms of if we're going to go out there and try and acquire a player, I think the centre-back position should be a priority. More so than anything, because I don't know how well Colwell's going to be able to come back. This is what no one's talking about, Joey. Like, that is a serious injury, and is he ever going to be up to the standard that he was at before? It's going to be a hard one.
I mean, look at Amanda Roja, for example, before that injury, which that was an ACL, wasn't it?
Yeah. There's countless examples of that.
Now, you mentioned the Mauricio Pochettino season. First game of that season was...
I don't remember, go on, you tell me. You've got the memory. You're the Joracle.
You should know this. You were there. Ben Chilwell had a goal, disallowed...
It was a City game, was it?
No, Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah. So, first day of the season, disappointing-ish
that was a draw.
That we didn't get the win. But opening day, sunny day, Stamford Bridge, we draw. There's optimism for improvement, and the following game after that was away to...
Was it West Ham?
To West Ham.
Was that the Carney Chukwuemeka goal?
It was the Carney Chukwuemeka goal. It was the Carney Chukwuemeka injury. It was the Caicedo penalty given away, and the 3-1 ultimately to West Ham. A very different West Ham side that we're about to face. What are you thinking going in to this game? Do you feel like history could repeat itself at all? Or do you think, like I do, that we came up against a very good side in Crystal Palace, a side that, you know, I actually think from the football I've watched this weekend that most teams kind of seem like they're at the races. There isn't that sleepwalking feeling you can get sometimes on the opening day of these fixtures. But I think that in Crystal Palace, you could see a team that are finely tuned, very much ready to go straight off the back of that Community Shield. So I give them the respect that they deserve, and I don't throw my toys out the pram. But it's vital now that we get a win against West Ham, because if you come in without winning any of your opening 2 fixtures, then you put yourself in a position that we have for 2 seasons in a row now.
Chasing.
Which is chasing.
Yeah. I think, look, if we can't beat West Ham, they're going to be alarm bells ringing. And I don't mean that as if we're all going to hit the panic button straight away. But I think there are going to be certain things where you're like, oh, has the Club World Cup affected us?
No, I think our expectations of the season might change a little bit. I think we might go, okay, this is a... And I'm not saying that you're suggesting this, but I think you might go, oh, okay, this is more of a... Let's make sure we get Champions League football again, build on it, let's go deep in the cups, whatever. Whereas at the minute, listen, if you ain't got hope, you ain't got anything. I'm not giving up no hope. So at the minute, one game at a time.
But I'm looking at West Ham and I'm going, that's a team that could be in a relegation battle. And so I think we should be going there and putting a very good performance. I think it should be clean sheet and a few goals.
3-0. 3-0 and a clean sheet.
Yeah. But that's the minimum, not the minimum expectation, but that's the expectation that I'm going into that game with.
Can I give you some good news?
Go on.
It is going to be 3-0 with a clean sheet.
Well, if the Joracle says it, then it must be true.
I'm telling you, it is going to be that. So don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Right, we are going to be in the studio to preview the West Ham game in a couple of days.
Yeah.
What have we got coming up? Loads of shit.
What, in terms of the football side?
From the football side, we've got loads.
I mean,
we've got loads.
yeah, look, we've got West Ham.
I'm obviously going to try and drop a video tomorrow. Some more transfer news stuff will be coming out.
If you're not going to go to the game, are you gonna stream it, or are you just going to watch it?
I'm going to try. I'm working very hard this week. I've got lots on. I've got a lot of content to still do. But yeah, going to try, maybe even get to the game. But if not, I'll try and do a live stream for it. We'll try and get a video out tomorrow, and me and you are going to be back in the studio on Wednesday. We'll preview the West Ham game. Anything else you want to see covered, let us know. Hit it in the comment section below. If you're not already, please subscribe to the video, like the video, and most importantly, do me a massive favour right now. If you are one of those that doesn't mind it when me and Josh just talk about anything, then the Joey and Josh channel is probably for you. It's linked in the description, and we have been dropping banger after banger on there. A lot of true crime related content coming out off there, so if that's your sort of thing, definitely follow that, and we will see you all in the next one.